Urban View Development Group is a real estate development company with over 10 years of experience, over 100 projects that we completed successfully, with over 20 employees, each part of the goal, each giving their professional experience in order to contribute to our company goal. We work with people who have the same mind frame as us, who have the same concept as us, whether it is contractors, whether it's engineers and our architects and our designers, our real estate agents, connecting everyone together and collaborating in the best way possible in order to make the maximum effect.
We try to analyze what is the best development for that specific lot. We're getting information from our architects, from the city, from the brokers, from the bank. We're collecting information and determine and decide what is the best development for the site. After that, we're creating initial budget, an idea, how much it's going to cost, how long it's going to take. We're creating the concept of the project.
We make the change, we create the change. I want to make sure that we can affect the communities that we're in, that we can connect part of the communities, that we can make the change happen, that we can be a bigger part of the dynamic changes that we have in the city of New York. That's where we work in, that's what we know, and that is our vision.
My job in Urban View, New York is to support this company with all my 15 years experience in construction business and be sure that residential buildings are designed the best way and built in the best and fast way.
The business of construction is a complicated business. Years and years ago when my dad had the business, different story. Today, all the rules have to be followed. Fortunately, from my background, especially with the Department of Defense, rules are critical. Schedules must be adhered to, budgets must be developed, and within reason, you must have organized plans today.
Our work as a project manager is a highly diversified job, especially at a company like Urban View. You're in charge of hundreds of people, coordinating between all the elements and making sure the project is done on time, on budget.
So now we are in Brooklyn, and this is one of the 7 projects I'm taking care of. I make sure that every project goes well. We have all the trades on a building and every contractor is doing the right job because we're doing good quality here.
My job in the acquisition phase is to ensure that the company gets the property under proper terms, as well as structuring all the investments in the company. Once they're finished with the project, we get to the sale or rental phase. If we've built a condo building, I oversee all the sales. I make sure that the contracts we enter into for sales are proper contracts, that we have our outs. If they're rentals, I write up the leases and make sure that the tenants have proper leases, and also do all the filing with the city to make sure that we're renting these apartments out properly.
One of the most interesting things that happened the second that we found our office, which is located in Williamsburg, was that we started receiving new employees. People who really wanted to be a part of that joint effort to make the change in the community.
Urban View is a family. It's hard to explain the feeling here, but it's a very warm feeling between us. That's just a special thing around here. We just work from the heart.
We look for the areas that have an angle of change. Brooklyn used to be very famous for being diverse, but for being very separate. If you'd have the Jews in one area and you'd have the Italians in another area and you'd have the Polish in another area, it was very diverse but very separated at the same time. The prices of land would be very low. That's a good time to buy when things are low, and that's what we decided to do.
When everybody was out seeking all the other developers and investors to buy buildings, they were buying land, and they were doing that years ago when no one was buying lots and land. And now that there's all this development going on in Brooklyn and New York City, they're ahead of the game because there's not many more places where you can build, and they secured that years ago.
Brooklyn definitely goes up. Brooklyn is changing. A lot of new small businesses, a lot of entrepreneurs opening new businesses. The population is changing.
A lot of neighborhoods here need a tremendous amount of uplift, and that's one of our goals. We get in, we immediately bring the real estate values up, we help the neighborhood. Everybody is positive to have us come in. We are here to do what the community needs, and that's why we continue to be successful.
make sure that our brokers who know the local markets will be part of the process of creating the project from day one.
Before they start a project, they're calling me for consultation. So from the beginning to the end, sales and marketing, I am working with UrbanView directly. They always seem to have a way of seeing into the future today. I think they're very astute business people. I think they have a very tight team, and I think they work very collaboratively with the broker community and with Corcoran, and me in particular, as their dedicated sales and marketing agent for all their projects.
Douglas Salomon is an independently owned real estate company, which is fantastic because it sets us apart from most of the larger companies that exist in New York City. We're also over 100 years old. We've sold several projects for them since 2009, and we've gotten to the point where we are now working with the architects, the designers, the floor plan artists, the superstructure to collaborate to make sure that all of the future projects are a success. And what's really fantastic about the projects that they've brought to Brooklyn is that they cater to all types of people, from someone who wants to spend $300,000 to someone who wants to spend $3 million. So there's a lot of flexibility in what you can do.
When Sunday, hits, everyone is like ready, lights, camera, action. Door opens at the open house, people are in place, and we start selling. And in New York City, we're finding, in terms of the products, how long they stay on the market, no more than 57 days to 60 days. This is a very, very hot market we're working in Brooklyn, New York.
We listen to our investors, we listen to their criticism, we listen to their direction. And that's something that really gave us a lot of insight and a lot of strength in order to achieve the goals that we set for ourselves.
We are a schedule-driven company. We do not have time to make mistakes or miss out on our schedule, so our construction is at a fairly rapid pace, but controlled in order to result in a good return for our investors and positive for our banking friends. This is why we always have a good relationship going forward.
Everything that they touch and do, we generally have sellout in record time and always at ask or above price. And that is a signature of their excellence, and it also shows the quality of their products and the demand for it and how much people want it.